What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Omniheroes video. All right, guys. Let's talk about something that has been on a lot of people's minds. I'm getting a lot of DMs about covering this, and people are mailing me and being like, "Hey, Payne, can you do us a favor and talk a little bit about the Relic system?" So I will absolutely do that. It is a complicated system. A lot of people don't know how to use it, what they do, etc. So we're gonna go through this Relic system and talk about everything you need to know. So first off, how do you get relics? Let's talk about the simple stuff. Okay, so relics can be acquired through the relic vault. When you summon, as you can see here, I'm saving. You're gonna get yourself some either fragments or relics. Now, I'm gonna say this right now from the get-go. I don't think, and I'm pretty sure I'm positive when I say this, you can get any relics that are the legendary. Those are only fragment based. Okay, just note that I've never seen a red drop, and I've done a lot of these. I've only epics drop. Blues drop, and then the reds. The purples. Reds do not drop, so legendaries do not drop. So those will be fragment based, just so you know. Another way to get it as well too is through the Merchant Guild. There is an actual redeem point section here, where if you go to the relic shop, you can use your relic points to get yourself some fragments to either level up. Now, this is not going to be the most effective way of doing it. Obviously, you're going to need to get yourself quite a few of these in order to enhance your relics, and we'll talk about enhancing a little further as we go along. Okay, another place to get it is in the guild. This is specifically for one. When you see the progression here, guys, of your guild, you'll see the ranking, and then in the ranking, you're gonna see these numbers right where we are. You're gonna go and see earned rewards, and this is where you get this hammer with this Vulcans Hammer shards. We'll talk more about that specifically. That is a unique relic in its own sense. We'll talk all about that as well, okay, and all about the relics that are in the game right now. So those are some of the ways to get it. There are other ways as well too. Obviously, you're going to get them through events, rewards, etc. We won't cover all of that. You can go through that yourself and kind of figure that out, I'm sure. I want to talk about the actual relics and how they work, essentially. Okay, so you can see here, relics are going to be give you a total power. Now, these relics, if you click on this icon, will tell you here, all relics can provide stat boost to all heroes regardless of whether they are deployed or not. So it is actually very imperative, guys, to level up all of your relics, because they will actually affect your total power and give you stats. You can see here, I have not been leveling these up, but here, let me just show you an example of what I'm talking about. If you see here, 787, if I click this, boom. Now that power right there will actually increase my total power as well too. So keep that in mind. Whether they are deployed or not is irrelevant. You still actually want to put a little bit of effort into getting these up. So 29790, if you do it again, 34110, this now has gone up, right? So it's important to note that, guys. Relics do matter. So let's see, I have 1445. Okay, so if I click on this again and I do another level 10, 1445. It's not enough of a power boost, obviously, but you can tell here it is going up. 1445. Let's see what do we got here. Yeah, it still went up, but just not enough because my numbers are so high, right? So it's very important that you guys note that. Also, keep in mind, relic base attack is 20% of deployed heroes' base of attack. Okay, so this attack here is only 20% of the deployed units that you have. It's not going to give you the full amount. So note that when you're doing this. Now, how do relics work? Okay, that's going to be an important one. First thing I want you guys to note is this. The greens here, or the blues I should say, sorry, do not have any synergies. They can be added into whatever you want. This just tells you what it is. Single target heal, single target damage, and team damage. Okay, so those three are going to be irrelevant on where you use them. In the beginning, you're going to use these, and then you're going to move on. So level them up, obviously, in terms of getting more power for your stats, but that's about it. Everything else, though, does have a place and a use, okay? Now, you notice, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but all of the purples here have this icon on the bottom and then a synergy icon on top. The actual epics have the bottom here and then synergy on top. And then if you go to mythics, guys, you'll notice they also have these green icons and then the little icons on top. Now, I'm going to explain how each of these work and why they're so important, okay? So, first off, let's talk about these purples, because majority of you free-to-play players are going to have this. Now, one thing to note is when you enhance a relic, okay, you can enhance it by one player or two players, one time or 10 times, and you cannot exceed the player's level. So whatever level you are is exactly what this is going to be. Note this, okay, real quick. You can see here skill energy cost. You have an ultimate, which does a move. Now, as you increase or enhance it right here, right, the enhance option, or sorry, the advanced option, not enhanced, the advanced option, you're going to increase specific levels for each of these as you go up. And you can see here what the advanced preview is, right? You can see exactly where it levels up and what happens with it. So there you go. It keeps going, keep going, keep going. And then you get up to here. So you can see these ones stop at 9 stars. One thing to note is when you use this with the proper team, okay, you're going to actually get a bonus as well. So why is that important? So look here, this is a backline damage move so that you can instantly know what this does, okay? You don't even have to read I mean, you could read the ultimate to see what it does, but like you can see here, relic damage to backline enemies increases the relic damage by 20% for each Doomsday synergy deployed, limited of 3 synergy mates. This will not do any additional damage past the 3 Doomsday units that you have there, okay? Just remember that. Now also, if you click here, this is exactly what it does. When a Doomsday or synergy mate is attacked, it has a 50% chance to reflect 30% of the damage received. The Relic synergy unlocks when 3 or more synergy mates are deployed. So keep that in mind, okay? Not just 2, but you need 3 or more. When a Doomsday or synergy is attacked, it has a 50% chance to reflect 60% of the damage received. The Relic synergy unlocks when 3 or more synergy mates are deployed. So keep that in mind. And you can see this, all of these ones have the same synergy effect as a relic, okay? So you have to remember that these relics do belong with your synergy Valkyrie, so it's very important to do that. So for example, when I use my Excalibur, which I've been leveling up because I'm using ethereals as my main things, first thing to note is it is a burst damage move, right? Explosive relic has a powerful explosive effect. Very important to know that that's what this is. This is what these icons mean. One is recovery, okay? One is burst, and the last one is Chrono Relic and Refresh the Relic CD. Okay, those are the 3 icons that you're going to see, and I'm going to show you those real quick. What Excalibur is, though, is a team damage. It's an AoE damage dealing move. You can see here, summons Excalibur down from the sky, dealing relic damage to all enemies, increases the relic damage by 20% of each ethereal in the team. As you can see here, the damage goes up as you increase it. And to note, you actually have 2 specials, right? You have a passive here for Excalibur. After casting Excalibur, has a 50% chance to randomly apply stun on a target for 1 round and grants the ally team 1 stack of crit rate boost. And then of course the other passive here is when the ally team's crit rate reaches 150%, the relic has a 50% chance to be cast again. So you can cast it back to back when you hit that. So it's very important to note to try to get that 150% crit rate, right? Now, what does it do for ethereals? Same thing as before. At the start of the battle, ethereal synergy mates will obtain the HP bond buff and increase the damage reduction by 5%. Okay, at the start of the battle, ethereal synergy mates will obtain HP bond buff and increase the damage by 10%. So here's what it does. HP bond is bond heroes share the damage taken. So essentially it's just like whatever one person takes, it splits it up into 3 others, right? Because it only requires 3 or more that deploy. So if you have 5, it'll affect 5. So very important to note that, or maybe it'll affect only 3 because it is max 3, it says up here, 2 to 3. So note that you don't necessarily need a tank with this because you now share energy, which reduces the need for a tank, giving you more burst DPS in here, or a unit that can give you additional crit. So super important to know that. So when you're setting this up, guys, okay, this will apply for everything. When you're setting this up, note that here, this passive does not unlock till 3 stars. So for epics, you do need to get 3 stars to unlock both passives. For the purples, you only need, I believe, just 3 stars as well. So yeah, I think it's 3. Let's take a look here. If I don't have I have a 1 and a 2. Yeah, like actually no, they're fine. You can see what they do though. 2 stars unlocks extra relic energy, and then 3 stars unlocks reduces energy cost by 20. So very important to note that. Now, when you get into a battle, how do you equip this properly, right? A lot of people, this is what people are mostly asking about. So when you go to Forgotten Lands, for example, right? Let's say I'm doing this one here. I'm stage 38. If I click here, you can see here most of my team is comprised of right here ethereals. I have got 3 of them, right, which is going to give my Excalibur what it needs to proc, right? And that's where it sits. You can take these off right now, right? And look, you see on the top it tells you what to equip. So the first one it wants you to equip is it wants you to equip an energy saving relic. So for me personally, because I'm running ethereals, I'm either going to do the saw for the Valianters or the ethereals. So in my case, ethereals is better off here. So you can see here this procs now, recommended type. Now this here is going to require a burst one, right? So this is the burst one here. Any of these really work, you can see here, but because I'm running mostly ethereals, I run an ethereal one, I put Excalibur in, instantly procs that. You can see these 2 now. I don't have a chronicle one. Chronicle ones are going to be the legendary kind. Because we don't have that, you put in the next best thing that you have for your second synergy. In my case, it's going to be the Valianters, and I'm going to save. You can see here I've got 2 Valianters right here, okay? And then I've got 3 Ethereals, and I've got 2 Dawnbringers. So how much synergy I have going on. I have 1 Celestial here, right? And then I have 1 Deviant. So all of these units here are going to give me all of these synergies, which in turn is going to help these relics perform. So this is going to work off of my Ethereals, this is going to work off my Valianters, and this is going to work off of my Ethereals. So very important, guys, to note, you follow the recommendations, but also pair not just the best damage dealing relic, but you also want to pair them to the synergies that's involved. Super important to note that, because that will make all the difference. Now, this is a really high up 30 miners. I'm not there yet for this one, I don't think. I can do 25 of 30, but essentially the relics will help. As you level up your relics, your power will also go up, making this a little more plausible. Like see 23, and that's the problem with this, right? You're gonna have to have some RNG once in a while with crits and crit damages. So, you know, test it out, see how many times you can do this. 27 out of 30. So I'm getting closer and closer. But relics will make a difference. If you put the wrong relic on here, I'll show you guys an example. Right? Let's take away this relic and this one, and I'll show you guys what it looks like if you put the wrong relics on. Let's just put in. Let's put in the saw because it does do damage. So Valianters will be affected positively here. But let's just say I put like, I want to put like mages, and you know, a random one here, like I don't know. Let's just say I want to put the harp. Okay, if I do this battle now, you're gonna see a pretty substantial difference in kills. 24 out of 30. So I mean, it's still not bad, but realistically, you're not getting the same effects for the ethereals, right? See 22 out of 30, so it's gonna definitely be lower, and you'll notice it also in if you watch the battles manually how different it is. So make sure, guys, again, very important. You know what we can try though? Let's try this and put in the Valianters here and see if that saw will help destroy these guys, because that saw is really good. 25 of 30. So I mean, it's around the same. So make sure you're equipping the right thing. Now, another thing I want to talk about real quick is the hammer, the Vulcans Hammer, and I want to talk about specifically about this one because it's a unique relic. And it does something nothing else does, and why it's important actually to go for. Okay, so Vulcan's Hammer, as you can see here, doesn't have any type of faction. It can be used anywhere. So if you want to use it as a third one, for example, here's what it does: the enraged lion charges over the white flame, dealing damage. Deployed with the relic, equipped to also increase damage dealt by allies in missions. So if you have this, you do 20% more damage in all missions. So note that. It's very important. 20% is a massive boost to your damage, okay? Very, very important. The other passive, when deployed with the relic equipped, increases the damage dealt in the allied team in the Palace of Penrose and Greyshroom Realm. So you always, guys, want to run this in your guild right here. Always, always run it. I actually forgot to equip it even, so that's a problem in itself. But if you look here, right, and you go trial, you always want to have this equipped. Always, always. Here, look. Right there. That instantly is going to give you guys a 20% boost in damage. So let's just try this, okay? So you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about. So here's damage with it, right? 2.57, okay? And now here's damage without it. I'm just going to show you guys damage without it. So let's take it off, and then put this back in, and watch now. 2.57 versus. Watch it be the same, just because you know it does that to me. I promise you guys, that's not how it works. That's just pure RNG. But it's supposed to do 20% more damage for you while you have it on. So just note that, guys. It is important to, let's just see, watch it be higher again. Yeah, I mean, my Steam was doing more. 2.61, there you go. So it would have been higher. Normally it's actually always higher because I had it, I've tested it. So have it equipped there, and then I promise you this for sure, 100%, in the Palace of Penrose, I have it equipped now. I went from floor 1,100, the moment I got this relic, I equipped it right there, you guys can see it, and I went up 200 floors, no problem, like way more. And I'm telling you, look at the power difference between my opponent and me. It's huge, and this relic is doing insane amount of work for me here. Okay, so note that if you don't have a third relic, that hammer is a must-have. You definitely want to use it. Put it on there for any missions that you do, or any type of like for example, any of the missions here. Anytime you do PvE and you're stuck, that hammer will help you advance a lot better and a lot quicker just by having it on you. Okay. And also, I just want to talk about which relics are considered the best relics in the game. So let's talk about these real quick. So the top tier relics right now in the game are going to be Excalibur, and it's going to be these right here, the Blades of Chaos, which are going to be for the Avengers. They're actually phenomenal for damage, and they actually do quite a bit of I guess, damage for the Avengers. Avengers really need that, and the passives are really good too as well because they increase your heal rate boost and also grant you a holy shield. And if you look at the second passive, when the allied team's total revives reaches 2 times, the relic has 50% chance to be cast again. So really good DPS. These two are probably going to be your best two. The horn will be the next one in line for the Valianters because they're just really good damage dealers. At the same time, here's what it does, so you guys know. Relic damage to all enemies increases the relic damage by Valianters. The passive here, after casting Fafnir's War Song, has a 50% chance to grant 1 stack of Fortitude. So here's what Fortitude does. When Fortitude is active, the target is protected for a minimum of 1 HP when damage is taken. So this is great if you want to do Celestial Trials. Awesome one to cast. That way you guys can survive. And then you can see they give you a stack of attack boost as well too, right? The second passive, if you unlock it, when the enemy team total kills reach 2, the relic has a chance to be cast again, giving you a second survivability. So to be honest with you, this actually might be better. I'll take that back. I think this is going to go 1 and 2. Probably the 2 best ones here, then 3 over here, okay? Just so you guys are aware. This Mage Tomb, the Book of Tooth, we call it tots really. The relic damage of frontline enemies increases relic damage for Mystifiers, because Mystifiers are fairly popular in this game. After casting it, it grants Holy Shield to all allies with the lowest HP, and then grants effect accuracy rate boost. Effect accuracy, of course, is for things like corrosion and stuff, any control effects. So you definitely want to have that available to you, especially when you're doing it. And then when the enemy's total corrode effect steals 20 stacks to 25. It'll cast a 50% chance to cast again, making even more damage. So that's another really good one. So you go 1, 2, I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 for sure. Like this is just because it's on its own, right? And then in terms of the other ones here, I'd say Bonesaw I really like. So this is probably the best one in my opinion. The Ethereal one would be next. Then I'd say the Glorian one. Then the Mystic one. And then lastly, the handsaw for Doomsayers. I'm just not a big fan of Doomsayers personally, and the Avenger one is pretty good too, actually. So these ones, I mean, you're just going to go based on what you need for your actual synergy, but these actually do have a pretty good effect. So on the 3rd slot, before you get your legendary, that's the order I'd go. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this one here, obviously universal if you need it for what you need it for. Just wanted to cover that last part. All right, guys, I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Let me know if you have any questions, and we'll deal with it in either the comment section or in my Discord. Remember to join my Discord if you have not already. A lot of Omni players there. It's in the description. If you want to support my channel, you're more than welcome to join as a member for $1.99. We'll be doing giveaways in the Discord for those members as well, plus extra bonus things for all members who join. All right, guys, it's Payne. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.